Welcome back, everybody. It starts now, the happy hour of finances business. My name is Stan Lane. I am also the co-founder of the Lane Consulting Group. Being an entrepreneur in the beginning stages, I thought that it was a lot easier than people made it out to be, because you hear all these comments about entrepreneurship is a struggle, and you got to take it seriously, and this, and this, and that. And I'm here to tell you that it is all true from a mental standpoint of not knowing or finding that right niche or finding that right market fit. But when you go in and you're creating something from scratch, you have no idea of how this thing's going to come together. And your one idea that you conceptualize by saying, this is what I want it to be, this is what I want it to look like, and the market starts to tell you, no, this is not it. And having conversation with these extraordinary entrepreneurs, you got a basic understanding that it took them some time. It didn't happen overnight. They had to figure it out. And in that simulation process, because you're constantly going in back and forth trying to beat the game, you realize that you're never going to beat the game. It's a continuous game, and you're continuously learning, you're continuously adapting. What I've learned is that it's the hardest part is getting everybody on board. And I thought that was going to be the easy part. You're trying to bring experts on board. You're not trying to train and develop somebody, even though this is a good canvas for somebody that's eager and young, that wants to really get themselves started, and they want to understand what entrepreneurship is like. It's a blank canvas, so you could go in and you can try and do all these things like that. But if you're starting out, you want as much as expertise as you can possibly get. And when I mean by expertise, I'm referring to some people with skill sets, people that can really execute on the thing that you want done. And getting people on board is, without the finances, is hard. You're starting out from a budgeting standpoint. You have your budget, and like, I can't exceed this budget, or I have to be wise with my budget. I got to know where to allocate some things, and what things I can do on my own physically, or what things that I can outsource at a cheaper price to make sure that I'm not going over budget. And I realize when you have capital, that, okay, I can hire this person, I can spend X amount of time to get this person up to speed by training. But when you don't have that, and you're trying to develop somebody, and at the same time you're trying to build a company and trying to figure out where does this company fit in the scheme of the world and what value it will provide, it can be a little bit challenging. I'm not gonna lie. It has some mental strains or mental struggles. But now I understand why certain entrepreneurs carry these scar tissues with them, and they're very protective, because when you build something that takes you 5, 8, 10 years to establish, you're very protective over your brand. The other part too of this conversation that I want to have is the fact that there's not enough singularity of focus. I think that's needed, because as an entrepreneur, when you don't see things not working in the early stages, what I'm witnessing from my conversations, and even for me, going through trial and error, is that when you don't see something's working, you automatically jump to the next thing. Like, you pivot and you say, okay, this is not working, let me go to the next thing. But then we give it enough time. And sometimes we give it too much time. And I think the reason is because we don't have singularity of focus. We're quick to jump on something else instead of making an iteration on that thing that we're currently working on. We're like, all right, this is not working, let's move to the next thing. Let's move to the next thing. But whereas if we just stay diligent and have more grit when it comes to focusing on this thing and making this thing grow and giving it enough time to mature and attention. If we don't do that, then you will never know. We assuming that things are not working, when in actuality, did we give it our all? Did we give our 100% attention and focus? And the singularity of things is very important, because I see people get pulled so many ways. I do think that when you have proximity of other entrepreneurs, and you can see their grind, and you can see their work ethic, and you see that, I think that helps you stretch. That helps you grow, because you're seeing what it takes, and you're seeing, okay, this is the level of work that's needed. Okay, I need to step up my game. Oh, this is the dedication. This is the time that's required. Okay, I got to put in more time. Oh, this is the attitude. This is the language. This is the mental state I need to be in. Gotcha. So you have the singularity of focus that's going to say, this is the thing. I'm going to give it my attention. I'm going to give it 100%. I'm going to dedicate my time to this, and then give it a timeline, right? Because if you put in that sweat equity, then if things don't work out, then okay, that's fine. But if you're half-assing it, when you go in 1 minute and you go in the next minute, then you can't blame nobody else. You got to blame yourself for not putting in that work. But now if you have proximity of entrepreneurs, and you're seeing their work ethic, and you're seeing the dedication, you're seeing the time, that's going to motivate you to say, you know what, I'm not putting that much work because look what they're doing and they're becoming successful. I need to do that same exact thing too. I need to level up. And I can measure if I'm there to that level of intensity, that level of work ethic. And that's why proximity is key with successful people. Proximity is key with other entrepreneurs that's really grinding every day. But when you see another person that's in proximity, that is successful and is doing the things you want to do, that's a jump. That's a leap right there. And I just wanted to share that. Thank you, everybody, for your time. As always, once again, my name is Stan Lane. I am the founder of It Starts Now. I am also the co-founder of the Lane Consulting Group. Have a good night. It starts now.